Hey everyone, Father Mark here. Just want to take a minute and update you on a few things. First of all, happy July 1st. Here we are halfway through the year, and a couple of exciting things happened today. First of all, baseball players report back. Yes, indeed. The A's are going to the Coliseum, Giants going over to the Bay, and they're going to start warming up for baseball again. And I think the first games are being played July 23rd. So excited about that. But in addition to that, it occurred to me that today, July 1, is actually the 1 year anniversary, if you will, of both Father Luke and I coming here to the Catholic Community of Pleasanton. 1 year as your pastor. We were talking at dinner, a year unlike anything anyone would have imagined, given all that's happened with COVID-19 and so on and so forth. But it's been a really fantastic year. I've personally enjoyed a lot of the opportunity for creativity, the chance to try to figure out how do we continue the mission of the church and continue the mission of Jesus, even when a lot of things we would normally do are shut down. And I really think we've stumbled into some really good stuff that we're going to continue because of the effectiveness of it. But there's several things I want to talk with you about today. First of all, we have had 2 weekends of public masses, 8, 10, and 12 at St. Augustine Church. I wasn't sure how well it was going to go. We sort of made it up as we went, but I would say out of 5 stars, I'd give it 4.5. It's gone extremely well, and we're very grateful to the team of knights and our liturgy coordinators and other volunteers who've been at every single one of those masses, headed up by Deacon Gary, to make sure that everything went smoothly, that people got in, that people got out, that everything got cleaned up and ready for the next Mass as time came along. So thank you guys, it's gone very well. The one concern that's been expressed to me that I just want to spend a minute with is about the reservation system, having to make a reservation to come to Mass. People don't feel like they should have to do that. And I understand that. You're right. You shouldn't have to make a reservation to come to church. The reservation system is not ideal at all, not a great way to do this. But given that we are limited by the state, by the county, to 100 or fewer people at Mass, I couldn't figure out a better way to make that happen. I didn't want to do the first come, first serve thing. First, I didn't want to end up with people, lining up in front of the church at 6 a.m. because they wanted to get in. I also didn't want people to have to get up in the morning, get washed, dressed, and rush to church, hoping they can get in and discover their person 101 and have to go home. So for the sake of knowing you're going to be able to get in, that you've got a seat, make a reservation seemed to be the best way to do that. I am happy to say there have been people who have come without a reservation, and so far we've gotten everyone in and everyone's been seated, and we've been at 100 or fewer people at Masses. So that's gone really, really well. I'm very, very pleased with that. And we'll continue to do that as long as we can. A couple other things to update you on. I've been asked about a couple different things happening in the parish, stuff that we were really looking at before COVID-19 and shelter-in-place hit and sort of changed up how we were acting. The first is the Seton skylight. What's going on with that? Because originally we had planned on June 12 or June 18 to get that project started. Well, as with everything else in the country, it got thrown off schedule by the shelter in place, by companies having to shut down. In particular, that skylight is unique. And so each panel needs to be manufactured for us. And the manufacturer was shut down for 3 months. A couple weeks ago, we did get in there. We got the measurements for all the panels made, and that's with the manufacturer. We are not sure how large their backlog is. We're not sure when they will get to manufacturing those panels. We're not sure when they will be shipped out here to us because they're coming from the Midwest, nor when we'll be able to get the cranes in and all the equipment needed because obviously contractors are backed up. Everybody's sort of thrown off. There's going to be a phone conversation on Monday with the manufacturer and some other folks, and hopefully we'll have a better idea by then. But please keep it in prayer. We are concerned that if we don't get that skylight fixed, and the winter storms are really bad this year, that there could be some serious damage done to the church. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to make this happen. And if it doesn't, oh boy, we'll just, we'll do what we got to do, right? We'll make our way through it. So that's where we are with the Skylight project. It's sort of a moving target still. Then recently, I've had several people ask me about the Arise and Build campaign. What's happening with that? Well, I did report on the Arise and Build campaign to you in February when I gave the State of the Parish address on the first 2 weekends of February. And I mentioned at that time that we were going to start looking at what are options for the church given our current reality, that maybe plans that were made 10, 20 years ago are no longer applicable to our current situation. We started to gather people together for that, the staff, and had an entire work day around that, figuring out what sort of things do we want to explore, where do we want to go. And then along came COVID-19, and all the priorities shifted again. I've had one or two conversations about the future of the parish and what we might do with the Rise and Build and the funds there, but nothing serious, nothing with any long-lasting sorts of repercussions at this point. Many of you are continuing to fulfill your pledges. We're very grateful for that. As soon as we move forward with figuring out what we want to do, where we want to go, have some ideas and some plans, we'll certainly share them with you. We've been very busy figuring out all this sort of stuff since this has become sort of our new reality, the video tech and the content we're created to go live with for all you guys. So that's been part of what we're doing. Since we are able to have public masses again of 100 or fewer people, we're also moving forward now with trying to get caught up on all the sacramental celebrations that did not happen during the Easter season. For example, all the adults in the RCIA program who would have been baptized and confirmed and received First Eucharist at the Easter Vigil, we're going to get them done this month. We're also beginning to schedule the masses for all the First Eucharist students, 90-some students who've prepared long and hard and are very excited to receive Christ in the Eucharist for the first time, and that's been delayed. And we want to make sure that happens. I was just on a Zoom call the other day with Bishop and several other pastors, lots of conversations about how can we do confirmations, how can we get this accomplished. So we're working on all of that, and we will make that all happen as well and as quickly, as beautifully, as prayerfully as we possibly can, assuming we're allowed to continue how we're going on. I have to admit, personally, I have a concern. You probably heard that, I think it was 2 days ago, Alameda County indefinitely postponed their timeline for reopenings. So nothing new is reopening. My concern is, you stop the car before you put it in reverse. And that Alameda County has stopped the car and that they may decide to reverse some of the reopening that's already happened, in which case we may not be able to have public masses. And then we'll adjust to that. I say it's a moving target. I mean, every week what I hear and what comes across this desk is very different. But for the time being, we will continue with the public masses, we'll continue with our webcast masses and all the other services we're doing, and get these other things planned up. And I need something from you, actually, because as we've been going through these months, and as I begin to see that this is probably going to be the reality for the rest of the year, we need some new ministers to do some new things, and particularly in two areas. One, I mentioned that we've had a team of ministers who've been at all the masses these last 2 weekends when we opened for public masses. The folks who ushered you in, ushered you out, sanitized the place and got ready for the next masses. They've been doing remarkable work. I don't think it's sustainable to have that same team of people every Sunday, every week, every month do that for us as much as they are willing to. So I would like to have another team or even 2 other teams to make that happen. Each team is approximately 6 individuals. So if you'd like to be on a team, which would maybe every other or every 3rd week, the more people we get, the more teams we can have, right? Many hands make light work. I would love to hear from you. Again, we would train you in that. We've got that all worked out now. We know how this functions on bringing people into the church, getting them seated, making sure the space is safe and sanitized for everybody. So I need people for that. The other area where we need volunteers is for this stuff, all of our video and tech work we're doing. Everything you've been seeing, all the webcasts we've been doing, we've had one guy, Michael Harmon, our Director of Operations, at everything, operating our equipment, making it happen. If this is going to be our new reality through the rest of this year, which it quite possibly could be, we can't keep relying on Michael that way. It's just not fair. He's been amazing. Not one complaint from him yet. Not one complaint yet, Michael. Not one complaint yet. But I also want to be fair to him. And I know we have people out there who are talented in video production, in camera operation, and all those things. And in all honesty, this is going to become a permanent part of who we are at the Catholic Community of Pleasanton. We're going to look at getting St. Augustine Church and the main church at Seton wired for internet, as well as what we're doing in the chapel. So I need people with that interest and that expertise to help us out as we develop our entire video and tech team to continue to bring our message to the world. So that's sort of where we are with several things right now. Again, I would love to hear your ideas about things and ways that we could maybe minister to you as we continue to operate in this fashion. I really suspect that as long as we're able to do the public masses we're doing, the sort of level we're operating at now with the public masses and the different things on the web is where it's going to be for quite a while, probably through the end of the year until there is a vaccine that works and is widely distributed. It's probably how we're going to function. So it's a new reality. As I said, I personally like the creative opportunities in it, and I'm trying to figure out how to create more content and keep things going on. And some of your ideas have been great in helping make that happen. So let me just check and make sure that's everything I wanted to talk with you about today. Yeah, that looks good. Just know that we continue to pray for you. We miss you. We hope to see you again soon. Let us all keep each other in prayer and play ball. Ciao.